Do you think cruises may be canceled with increase in positive cases on board? Anything's possible, Mark. I'd be remiss if I said, there's no chance. I think it's pretty low. I think it's unlikely. I think as a society, we've all kind of learned there's going to be COVID. There's COVID everywhere else. Why shouldn't there be on cruise ships? I think the difference is we're in a different scenario. We have vaccines. No one is dying on board, which is the most important thing. So the answer is I don't believe that we're going to see um, I don't think we're going to see cancel or wide mass cancellations like we did before. In fact, and again, I'm not a scientist, I'm not a health expert, so I'm not going to sit here and tell you what I think may or may not happen. There's definitely a wave. But it's kind of like one of those. There's going to be this kind of a methodology, if you will, with COVID going forward. There'll be highs, there'll be lows. But I think truly, Mark, I think it's just things are going to go forward. So no, I don't think we're going to see what we saw. Certainly not in 2020. And I don't even think what we saw with Omicron, because again, any health expert I've seen is not predicted to see this, whatever this wave is, whatever we're going to call it, is the same level. Again, I'm not a health expert. I don't know anything more than you guys do. But to answer your question, Mark, as directly as I can, I don't believe that will be the case. Okay, there you go. What is your favorite port of call, and where's your least favorite? I love Cozumel, San Juan, Puerto Rico. I mean, we're in Alaska, and that's like a special thing. But I don't go to Alaska all the time. And my least favorite, probably Falmouth. It's a beautiful country. I just have not found something yet that I like really can be like, boy, I can't wait to go do whatever that is in Falmouth. I'm hoping I'll find one. So for that reason, it's not a reflection on Jamaica. I love Jamaica. It's just I've not found like that one thing that I'm like, yes, this is like I get excited and I really want to go do it every time. Question for newbies: photo package, yes or no? If we may miss some things if we try to take our own photos. It's a good question, Keith. I've never actually bought a photo package. I'll be honest with you. It's a great if you're traveling, Keith, with a large family and you're gonna take a lot of group photos, sure. But if it's like you, Keith, and like maybe if you have kids and like a spouse or something like that, I think you're fine on your own. I usually find there's maybe there's like 1, 2, 3 photos that you really want. But of course, if you take the time to take lots of photos every night, it can be worthwhile. It's like so many things, Keith. If you take the time to take advantage of what the photo package offers you, it's a great deal. But I think if you're brand new, I would say no. I would say just, take photos. If you see a couple that look cool, pick up 2 or 3. You're probably still coming out ahead of a package. But, keep that in mind. Then you'll know for your next cruise, are you really a photo package kind of person? Are there planned activities for 18 to 20-year-olds on, I don't know if that's Symphony or Spectrum or Serenade? Obviously can't go to bars, and there are no clubs for that age group. They can go to bars, actually. I mean, they can't drink at bars, but there's absolutely no reason they can't go sit at a bar and, play trivia or listen to the piano player or what have you. But no, there's not specific activities, generally speaking, for that age group. No more so, Donna, than the 30 to 32-year-olds or the 40 to 42-year-olds. I know what you mean, that they're in this weird group where the age range where they can't drink. But no, they're just considered an adult, and there's still plenty for them to do. I guess I would say you don't have to drink to have a good time. That's what my mom told me anyway. And I tell her, yeah, Mom, I know you're right. Is wearing khaki shorts in the dining room during a casual dinner frowned upon? This is the gray area of the protocols of the rules. This is before COVID. This was the big debate topic. The answer is there's no definitive answer. There is a dress code. Royal Caribbean doesn't enforce the dress code. If you showed up in the khaki shorts, I highly doubt anyone says anything to you. Say, sir, madam, you're not allowed to wear those in here. I don't think that's the case. Should you wear the shorts? Should is the key word there. And if you want to debate that, boy, do we have a great message board at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. And our good friend Pascal will be happy to moderate that comment. I'm going on Ovation of the Seas to Alaska. I got the unlimited dining package. Does that mean I don't pay for any of the meals, especially dining? That is correct. The only meal, well, I mean, there could be an exception, Dan. Some restaurants have that you pay a la carte, like Azumi Sushi. So if you were at Sushi, Dan, and you ordered $100 worth of sushi, you're going to owe money because they only give you a stipend of $35 there. But at Chops Grill, Giovanni's, yeah. And in reality, Dan, Dirty Dan, you're probably going to walk away without paying any money for the dining there. It's just, again, unless you really, and they'll warn you if you're ordering more than that. But yeah. Do you think they will lift vaccine mandates by next July 2023? Thank you for the super chat. The answer is I have no idea. No one knows. My gut tells me no. But honestly, Catherine, nobody knows. But my advice to you is you should plan on the protocols being the protocols until further notice. That's it. Like, I would not bet on it. And anyone who tells you, yeah, it will, has absolutely no idea what they're talking about. In the same way that somebody says, no, they won't, has absolutely no idea. We just don't know. But I think from a frame of reference, from a planning standpoint, I think it's important to assume the protocols today are going to be the protocols when you go on a cruise and go from there. Until then, you're just speculating on what may or may not happen. But I want to be real with you because there will be people who will tell you yes or no to that answer or that question, excuse me. But they have nobody knows the answer to that. It's based on a lot of factors. But I personally wouldn't expect it, my opinion, but that's just my opinion. You know what I mean? Thoughts on coastal kitchen versus main dining room? I would say if you're staying in a suite and you have access to coastal kitchen, I'd probably go to coastal kitchen. I mean, it's just I think it's more of an elevated experience. I'm not, don't make it seem like it's, there's like gold chandeliers or anything like that, but it's a nicer experience, a little more intimate. I think that's better for you guys. So yeah, I would say if you have the chance, I would definitely do coastal kitchen. I love the main dining room, and sometimes the main dining room has food that coastal kitchen doesn't have. So depending on the menu, there might be a compelling reason to go one or the other. But yeah, do the spas on the ships have day passes? Some yes, some no. It depends on the ship class, Rachel. I believe it's Quantum, Radiance, and Oasis class ships have a thermal spa, which has like the rainforest room and the thermal chairs, things like that. That's probably what you're asking. So that's the Radiance class, like Brilliance or Serenade or Radiance. The Oasis class, Wonder, Harmony, Allure, or the Quantum class, Anthem, Odyssey, Spectrum. Yeah. So it's the old answer. It depends. Is Royal going to do fireworks on the 4th of July? Typically, no. They did them last year, but last year was different because July 4th was literally the first U.S. based sailing with cruise ships. So it was a bit of a celebration, more so than celebrating America. So the answer is generally not. They've not done that in the past. It was never a regular event. And those fireworks, by the way, were at Perfect Day at Coco Key. So my answer is probably not, but you never know. And what's the best, easiest, less crowded space to book reservations for dining when you get on board the ship? Ooh. Well, there's usually there's a couple of options for you. Usually, ideally, when you get on board, if you're like in a promenade or a centrum, you're looking for like a desk. There's going to be a guy or a gal, a crew member there who has like a little desk set up and says dining reservations. That's like a great catch-all because they have a laptop set up, they're ready to go. But if you're looking for that's probably the best one. Anywhere's fine. Also, the dining room usually has somebody there. And if you get on there early enough, there's usually not much of a rush. Also, any specialty restaurant, Ryan, can book any other specialty restaurant. So might be a good way if all else fails, find a restaurant that nobody's going to. Away from the Windjammer would be a good idea. And go from there. I heard the dock in one of the last ports has some damage. Will any ships have to tender? It was Sitka, and it's undetermined yet. From what Sitka could handle 2 ships, and Radiance of the Seas had a little oopsie and actually backed into it and kind of ship's fine, but it damaged one of the dolphins, which is what they call not the animal, but one of the moorings over there. Anyway, long story short, instead of 2 ships that can dock, there can only be 1, but that doesn't mean they couldn't tender because they would always do tendering anyway if there was more than 2 ships there to begin with. So that's a really long answer of me saying we don't know yet. What do I absolutely have to do on my first cruise? Well, I mean, I guess you mean on board the ship, right? You're going on Oasis. Definitely see all the shows, dude. Even the ice skating shows. I know you're thinking, Matt, ice skating? Yes. See the shows. They're really good. Plan at least one excursion. And plan on I get off in every port, but one like formal excursion. And then also do at least one specialty restaurant to treat yourself. I think that's really great. And maybe even a spa treatment. Why not? Top 3 Coco Beach Club exclusive foods. Filet mignon, and the filet mignon. No, the filet mignon, number 1. The lobster, if you're a lobster fan at all, and the hummus is amazing. I love the hummus. And recommendations on traveling with a 6-month-old cross country. There's still time for you to jump on board with us. I wish there was, but my wife will absolutely murder me if we do that. No offense to you. So traveling with a 6-month-old, what are my recommendations? Pack like at least 25% more baby supplies than you think. Diapers, formulas, wipes, food. Like I'm sure by 6 months, you got pretty like 7 days, this much I need. Yeah, no. Increase that 25, 50% because if you run out of something and you tend to use more of it on a cruise ship, it's a big problem. Number 2, register the kids on the nursery. That's a big one. Other than that, if you're flying, hold the bottle of whatever, whether it's formula or milk. Wait and try, if you, at all possible. The ideal scenario is feed the baby when you get on the plane. As soon as you sit down, like right when you're taxiing, that's when the milk goes in. Easier said than done because the kids is never going to be hungry before then. But try to feed them right there. That way they go into that baby coma and sleep through the flight. Might be the recommendation there. And of course, request a pack and play in your room so it's there already. Your travel agent can do that there. Is Coco Beach Club Pass worth it? It's more expensive than it ever was. When I first started going there, the price has gone up significantly. All I will say is it is an absolutely great spot. I love it. I do think it is worthwhile. It's not as cheap as it once was, but you can't play that game anymore of like, back in my day, we paid this much. Like, who cares? It doesn't matter anymore because you're not going to get that price. It's not like this isn't Walmart price matching where you can be like, here's a receipt. I think it's absolutely, if you value being somewhere special, if it's important to you to be somewhere a little with an elevated experience, with a little pizzazz to it, not pizzazz, but like you're in a special area, if that's important to you, it's a great spot. Yes, absolutely. You can still have a great time outside of the beach club. But I can tell you that I every time I go, and I just went there in last month in April, and we had a fabulous time. I paid way more for it than I usually do, but you know what? We had a great time. It was really worth it. So, have you cruised Allure? I have. Any recommendations for dining? Try the. You know what? I'm going to give you a recommendation. The Brazilian Steakhouse, Samba Grill. I've not done it, but our one of our writers, Allie, recently did it on Radiant, so she absolutely loved it. So I say, yeah, go for it right there. So, any tips for cruising with mobility issues? Any excursion onboard general tips? Would love a video on this. It's a great question, Andrew. My general recommendation is number one: if you need a like wheelchair of some kind, whether it's motorized or not, you need to get that on your own. Rolla does not provide that for you. I think for excursions, depending on your like if you're like if you can only travel in a wheelchair, it's different than somebody who has mobility issues. Like you can walk, but you generally rely on the wheelchair. But there are accessible shore excursions. They're few and far between, but there are options for you as well. But in terms of like the onboard experience, they're very accommodating with it being accessible in there. So, yep. Thank you to everybody for hanging out with us here today. A lot of fun talking Royal Caribbean. We're live every Monday right here on YouTube, so come check us out every time we are live right here. When we're not live, we're over at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. If I did not answer your question, feel free to go post your question on our message boards over at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com, or come back again, or come back again next Monday, and we'll answer it right here on YouTube. Until our next live broadcast, everybody, have a great day, great week. Stay safe out there. Do something fun. That's important as well. And we'll talk again very soon right here on YouTube. Bye, everybody.